at told someone else to sneak
Yeah.
$50.
Plenty of others.
Welcome to the AFL&T's coverage of round 18 of the 224-225 TIO NTFL season from Tracy Village. Here in Darwin on Larrakia country, today's carriage will play host to Waratah, looking to get a spot against Buffaloes. And my name is Mark Dodge. I'm joined in commentary today by Will Zar. G'day, Will.
G'day, Dodgy. I think this weekend's game that we've got in front of us is the only pure dead rubber we've got. Neither side has next week to play for, so not even a warm-up. It's more just a last hurrah for both clubs, as it looks like it's the Wanderers trying to get their hands on the ball early out at Tracy Village, but the umpire will call for another ball up.
Yeah, interesting. Wanderers, I think, are pretty fired up to win this one. They know that even though the season's on the line, it's not good to go into the off-season with a bit of form behind you.
I believe as well it's their best and fairest night tonight, so they want to go into that with some high spirits and feeling good. As Truan breaks away inside 50 now, and from an open goal, he kicks the first within 30 seconds as Wanderers, as we said, come out firing, Dodgy.
Yeah, they did, and look, they had total control of the footy going forward. Truan did a great job front and centre there, and that's a great goal to start off the Wanderers campaign for today. It's interesting because they've played some pretty good footy early in the year, and they sort of dropped away a little bit to the latter part, but I've seen them play some pretty good footy all year.
It used to be a decent rivalry between these two sides when it was a bit of Motlop versus Motlop action. Obviously, now there's no Motlops apart from Lauren at the PINT Footy Club. The rest of them have moved on to other places. But, yeah, I think the winner of today's game will also finish on top in 6th position. The lose will finish in 7th. So a little bit to play for in terms of those bragging rights, and finishing higher on the ladder, theoretically is the better team for season 24-25. But we'll see how we go. As McCarthy, he's on top of the ball now, wrapped up, and another ball up in the middle of the ground. I think this might be PINT's first game out at Tracy Village this season as well.
An interesting game. It's a true suburban footy ground out there. It's good on a day like today, but there's no coverage if there's sun. But there's no sun today. It's nice and cloudy, and a good game for footy. It's a good day for footy.
Breaking away now, Bates, he kicks it forward, looking for Schmetzer. He loses his feet, and then it comes down to Jones Cabillo, gets a handball back through traffic, then has another crack at it. Hand up from Jones. And then Taylor, he just keeps in possessions, breaks away, done very well there. Out of the defensive 50, kicks it long down the ground now, looking for a target on that far wing. Overcooks it a little bit. Now with Pendle, he pushes it out on the wing, finding the safe hands of Hugh Spring. Yeah, Hugh Spring just been around a bit. He's a great player and a good solid footballer. He goes inside 50 now, or just a high half forward. Finds Fulton. Fulton's looking left and right and heading straight down the middle this time. And inboard he goes. Safe hands at the back, or rather not, from Jones Cabillo. And then handball from Motlop out wide. Wanderers again. Oh, that kick intercepted. He was able to recover it pretty quickly though, and it's safe, and now it's a throw in around about centre half back there. Good forward pressure from PINT. Yeah, good forward pressure from PINT, and this game has gone up a couple of notches since the bounce. So they're both trying to establish themselves and get on top in the arm wrestle. So ball will come in now. Tap down from McCarthy, and then snap towards goal. Across the face it'll go. Oh, good mark there from Schmetzer. Nearly won the game off his own boot last week against the Tiwi Bombers, and sort of played himself into the PINT senior side in the second half of this season as a ruck and a sort of a second or third or almost fourth forward, such as the prowess of their forward line. It's pretty interesting that PINT have had that sort of year this year with a bit of a rebuild, considering they were so good last year. So they'll be looking also to finish the season strongly. And this guy, he's been terrific this year. And as you said, he almost won the game from last week. I think 2 late goals and maybe a third, which was just a point. Also had a really good role in the ruck in that fourth quarter where they nearly clinched victory from the jaws of defeat. In comes Schmetzer to kick their first for the day this afternoon. Sprayed that one.
Yeah,
carried in the wind.
just to see how well he's been playing, he shaked that one totally. It happens to everybody, but that's unfortunate because that would have put them right back into contention. But yeah, it's a good push forward from PINT. Let's see what the Wanderers can do now to get this ball clear quickly and down to the forward line. One thing about Tracy Village, you've played there a bit yourself, Will. I know it's a shorter ground, so if you get a couple of decent kicks, you're going to get right into your forward line.
Yeah, as we saw that first guy, I think it was almost just sort of 1.5 kicks out of the middle, and suddenly I think it was Truan broke away and he was in for an open goal. So it is much smaller, and I don't think it's as wide. I think it's probably a little bit to do with how small it is, but it's not as wide as some of the other grounds can be. We know PINT's home ground and TIO Stadium quite wide and almost circular ovals. As ball just comes down, good fist in behind from Taylor. Now into a pack of players. McCarthy at the fall of it. Still trying to get his hands on it. Umpire will blow the whistle.
McCarthy's been busy as usual and getting his hands on the footy mostly, so that's something that Wanderers going to have to work on. Make sure they get a clearance or two from the ruck hits.
Ball goes up now.
Very early that time, wasn't he?
Wilson overran it. Manzi in there as well. He's been really good. Comes back to Wilson, who goes inside 50 towards goal. No, towards Big Andy Jones. He does the crumbing at ground level. No, he doesn't. Ben Brett, he's trying to get involved. Austin Smith pops out of his hands and then just sock it out of there by Leggett. Long way away. Comes out the back. Manzi trying to get involved. Free kick given away, going the way of PINT.
PINT looking to reset again. Manzi was a little bit late there.
Thompson goes inside 50 now. Oh, good hands there. And PINT will have their second shot on goal from a set shot, going to Benjamin Brett. Decent
sized footballer, isn't he? He's a big, solid lad. And I understand he can kick the footy very well, but we won't say that just in case.
And another one of their... It's funny, we mentioned before as well, going through a bit of a rebuild, but their forward line does seem so dynamic. They've got a lot of sort of leaders in their forward line as well. They've got a lot of players who, you know, Andy Jones is quite a complete footballer, but he almost plays the third or fourth key target going in. And Brett probably plays a little bit more of a smaller role, just given the other height around him. Comes in now and kicks.
Left foot.
He gets there first on the board.
Fabulous kick for goal, and it was never in doubt. He didn't look like he was going to miss that ever. Fabulous shot. Very difficult to judge whether there's any breeze, but I think it's pretty still out here today. And this oval is a great game to play footy, a great ground to watch football from as a spectator. You can see the ground from end to end, which is really exciting for the supporters.
And two names who I've noticed aren't out there who would typically feature in the PINT forward line dodgy are Christopher Neal and also Big Riley Main, who's their main ruckman, but they've thrown him forward and he's kicked a couple of not quite bags of goals, but 2s and 3s here and there throughout the season.
Yeah, and he's probably going to miss that firepower, but at the moment it's on even stats with both sides having good forays forward.
Ball up in the middle now, just on the near side. PINT leading by 1 point. And scoreline, 1 goal straight to Wanderers, 1-1-7 to the PINT Green Ants.
We'll get that score updated on the screen there, but yes, it's only a point in it, which is a really exciting start to the game.
Bit of confusion as the umpire's blown his whistle. Will be a free kick going the way of the Muck-Mucks in the hands, I think now, of Nicky.
Plays on quickly.
Gives it off to the runner. Short one to a big lead. Waylon Walters pushes it laterally now.
Looks like Wanderers are happy to keep their eyes on the ball and keep possession, and that's intelligent against a side like PINT, who are very quick and strong.
Just a short one over the top. That one to a pack, but Truan read it best off hands. Then he's wrapped up in a tackle. Ball spills out. Ping for holding. Now with Reeves on half back. Pushes it out to that wing and a double-handed tap. Maybe should have taken it there, Tom Schott, the PINT captain. Big, strong tackle there from Dre Thompson. Bit of a live wire he's been for them, particularly in their wins. I've noticed Thompson's been quite handy and electric. So, you know, if he has a good afternoon today, Dodgy, it could be a good sign for the Wanderers. Yeah, look, the Wanderers are definitely, once again, they're one of those sides that's in a rebuild phase. But they've certainly taken up to sides over the years. They've taken up to Nightcliff, Palmerston, PINT last time. So it's an exciting young group of players that are coming through. Beautiful day for football for interstate viewers. We haven't had a lot of rain up here just yet. It's been cool and
raining in Casey, but we haven't had the monsoons that we normally get, so the grounds are in great position, which means we're playing some good quality football all the way through.
Wilson's kick smothered. He'll have another crack, although he's wrapped up and taken the ground. Big strong tackle there from Smith, and looks like we'll have a ball up. It's the sirens chime off in the background, out near Royal Darwin Hospital there at Tracy Village.
Yeah, but
Smith wraps him up.
2 minutes from the hospital, so I don't think anyone's going to need that today, but if they are, they can walk.
In the ruck now, Josh McCarthy got it down against Leggett. Probably more Leggett's not really a conventional ruck, but filling in there. It looks like Big Max Johnson has stayed home this weekend. I believe he's doing some preparation for the VFL season to begin in a few weeks' time. Wilson gets the ball back and now into the middle of the ground. He finds his teammate in Maloney. In Lodwick it is, sorry. Now moving forward. Good hands there again from Brett.
Beautifully done, and Lodwick just looked forward, saw him in a good position and put it right out in front of him. Fantastic.
And a beautifully weighted kick, though, just goes through the hands of his captain. Wanderers have a chance to rebound now. Oh, the kick just a bit too much on it for Smith. Wilson, he's getting in amongst it again. Just extracts it, then throws it onto the boot, breaks into a bit of space, and that's a beautifully weighted kick again. Great
play from Wilson. He's a fabulous player. He's down low. He's happy to get in amongst it, and great disposal there, just right on the front of the pack, and the player the forward could mark it very well.
Good transition into Tom Miller in the forward line there. Barely had to move. So 10.5 minutes into this one, and Tom Miller will line up for PINT's second goal. This would give them a little bit of breathing space. Oh, it's a high ball. Will the wing catch it there? Never looked likely.
It's been a bit of an issue this year for PINT with their scoring forward. Sometimes they've sprayed the goals, but it looks like they're a chance again.
Yeah, still in play that one. PINT appealing for a touch, but it looks like the umpire's going to call a goal going the way of the Green Ants. Saying no touch, all clear.
All clear. And that's a handy goal because it was an arm wrestle up to then. There wasn't much ball movement forward, but they just they kept it moving. A great shot on goal and a front and centre goal, which is very handy when you're playing in this sort of ground. It's short like it is.
Well, Wanderers kicked the first goal. I think it was in about 30 seconds, Dodgy, and since then haven't really had a lot going forward for them. A few passes, but then just sort of bombed it in long to a contest. Otherwise, it's pretty much been all PINT. And that second goal also went to Ben Brett, so a pair of goals for him early in this one at Tracy Village. Yeah, Ben Brett once again getting amongst it, and what a fabulous player he is. He's been great all year, and he's the sort of guy that we like to come and watch when we play our entry fee to NTFL. Middle of the ground, umpires just collecting 666 rule.
And it amazes me why they don't just pay a free kick. They're still giving warnings, which, you know, we're 5 to 6 years into this now, so it's a strange thing, but anyway.
Smith straight off the ruckman's hands there and gets inside the forward 50. Can Truan break away again? Might be Thompson.
Good tackle.
They lose their feet. Maloney, he picked it up, but looks like there's a free which has been...
Incorrect tackle.
Given to Thompson, as you said, for an incorrect tackle.
Right in front of goal, so that should be the second one for Wanderers to put on the board here. Looks like he's taking a couple of breathers. He's only 5 metres out, so I don't think he has to do a lot of lining up here.
No, might have hit the deck a little hard as he's gone down.
Taking a couple of big ones.
Be handy for him to get one on the board early and pokes it straight through the middle, which, as we said, if he can get a couple of goals behind him, it can really lift this muck side.
I once had a very brief chat with the great Matthew Richardson at Richmond. He said the worst ones are the ones where you're 5 metres out. He used to be able to kick him from 60, 70 metres out. 5 metres out, that's when the pressure's on.
Coming from Richo, that doesn't surprise me. He didn't have a good record from directly in front, did he?
He did not. He had a great record from kicking at 70 out, but 5 or 6 out, not good.
And one of those players who he just rode the confidence as well, didn't he? If
he did.
Missed his early one, you'd count him for maybe 1 or 2 for the Arvo, but if he got some early ones on, he was in for a bag.
And he was a great Richmond man, never left the club, and almost won the Brownlow one year, I remember. So here we go again in the ruck. Big thumping ball up, down, and it looks like once again wanted to shark the ball and got a kick, and out they go.
Smith with another clearance, kicked it into the behind his own teammate there, has another crack at it.
That would hurt.
Just launches it long. Good hands there from Leggett, crashing the pack. Can't break it away though. Another whistle blown. They're tight on it today, although that one will be for a ball up. Smith getting some attention there. Looks like from Fulton. That'll be a really interesting contest this afternoon. Fulton's been really good in their point midfield this year.
He has. And speaking of umpires, we just give a shout out to Mark Noonan, who's been a fabulous umpire in NTFL, and he's actually umpiring his last game today, later this afternoon. So good on him, Noonan. Congratulations on a great career.
Number 375 for him as Smith cops a little bit of a falcon and then pops into the hands of Reeves, who just works it forward into I think last weekend when I was out there was a mud patch. It's looking a little greener this week, but Manzi picks it up on the overrun. He goes inside 50, top of the goal square. Good hands, no, falling through Bates's fingertips. He'll do the roving at ground level, snap over his shoulder and through for a behind.
Good second and third effort that time, but unfortunately wasn't able to straighten up enough to get that goal. Probably had a couple of more minutes, but it's really difficult in the cutlass thrust of a forward line. Manzi's is dominating too. He's having a great quarter.
Yeah, rising star nominee, I think, from within the last 2 weeks, maybe not last weekend, but the one before. And he's really another player who's just come into this Pint side really well. Will be a big part of their future, you'd think. Been really impressed with his work off halfback the last few weeks. As the ball comes in now, Wanderers find a target in Roberts at halfback, gives it off to Taylor.
Taylor once again amongst the setup again. Just bombed the ball forward though. He didn't sort of look to see where he was going. I think he was just in a hurry to get down there.
And now trying to get hands on it as well as Big. Takes it over the boundary line, just in front of the timekeeper's box.
A little bit of push and shove, nothing much in it. Just a bit of showing the colours down there on the wing.
A few interchanges for the Green Ants. Ball comes up now. Comes off hands and into Smith.
Smith is our local Surfy.
Reeves gets boot to ball. It'd be interesting if that's where he's been instead of training with the swell that's been at Nightcliff Beach the last few weeks.
Yeah, we've had at least a half metre.
Miller, he's running through now, trying to break through. Just ducks under a tackle and gets a handball away. Probably very close to his full measure, but his kick wasn't effective. Wanderers turn it over and through the middle they go. 2-on-1, and Peters has got a couple to beat. He's wrapped up and has done pretty well to nullify that contest.
Yeah, he was able to lock the ball in, and that's difficult when you've got players coming at you from everywhere. A couple of big lads on your tail.
Umpire Sam Cunningham doing the ball up duties.
Another experienced umpire, Sammy Cunningham's been umpiring for a long time here in NTFL.
Smith with another clearance there. He's absolutely dominating that middle as Big will take it very close to the line. And, Dre Thompson maybe giving back a little bit of body weight that he copped earlier, which resulted in that goal, but just bumping his opposition off over the line.
Thank goodness they haven't taken that out of the game. That's always a good, solid, fair bump. Part of the
hip and
fun.
shoulder.
Part of the fun.
Eyes on Smith in the middle of the screen there. Will he get another clearance here? Ball comes off hands. Oh, nearly got it there. Looks as though there's been a whistle blown as players stop. But go the way of McCarthy for a rack infringement, you would think. And he'll push it down that far wing at Tracy Village.
Such an experienced ruckman as McCarthy. He's just doing everything right around the ground, and there's Manzi's again in amongst it.
Yeah.
Can't miss Manzi's. He stands out pretty well.
Yeah, stands out with the red hair.
Like similar to yourself. You're not quite as red as that, but you are a ginger.
Exotic red locks.
It is. Helps you get Nichols medals votes, mate. It's good.
Oh, if only for me. I don't think I was ever in contention for Nichols medal votes, but we'll see if Manzi can pick a couple up today.
I think he might too. He's had a pretty good season overall, and as you said, the rising star.
As Bates, he works it inside 50 now. Oh, good work from Schmetzer coming out of the goal square. Second bite of the cherry, and he takes the mark in a pretty good position. Let's see if he can improve on his last effort, which didn't look likely as soon as he kicked it. A bit of a shank off the boot.
He's going back longer back than a fast bowler. He's heading almost back to the middle of the ground to take this kick. I think it's just nerves, and they're just trying to lessen the angle a little bit. But he'd be half exhausted by the time he got to the kick point.
And he's been given a 50-metre penalty as well. So I'm not sure what that infringement was.
Someone run across the protected area. I'm not sure. And umpire Sam Cunningham was right on that one.
And from point blank range, Schmetzer will go through. You'd think he'd kick this one.
He gets points third. So currently sitting at 3-2 versus 2 goals. So it's a good solid game of footy, and pretty exciting so far. It's been an even contest and some good quality football being played. Will.
Yeah, absolutely. An 8-point margin, probably fair at this stage in proceedings. With Wanderers getting that early break within 30 seconds, and since then, predominantly been on Pint's terms this game.
Yeah, it's currently 3 goals too. Just for an update there, and once again, it's an exciting game to watch when the scores are so close in this first quarter.
And you're watching AFL&T's coverage of the 2024-25 TIO NTFL season, round 18 action between Wanderers and Pint at Tracy Village.
And you can see the Tracy Village Football and Social Club in the background there. It's a bit of an institution here in Darwin, out in the northern suburbs.
As Pint work it forward, looking for a little bit of late joy in this quarter, though getting hands towards Bowie. He's kept it in his area and then gets it to some teammates who've collided there. Jones Cabillo was one of them, I think, the other Smith. In fact, it was Fuller and Smith, and umpire will call for a ball up.
Jones Cabillo was hit round like a ping pong ball there. He was all over the place. Was able to hold his ground, and that's important when it's a bit wet like it is on foot.
I think that's Caleb Nicky just out muscling his opponent in the ruck there, but gives away a free kick to Shobin. He kicks it inside forward 50 now. Or Jones, he nearly took a mark. Told to play on, got a handball out. Wanderers defence very tight there, just keeping it to a behind.
And the back six for Wanderers have been good. They've held up under pressure, and they've been able to repel most attacks. They just have not quite as smooth going forward, but they're still only within 10 points or 9 points of the lead here.
Oh, Taylor's gone with a barrel in the middle of the ground, looking for Thompson. He's got to outpace his opponent Lodwick, and he does. Oh, gee, takes one bounce, ran quicker than the ball.
Just overthought it a little bit and bounced the ball at the wrong spot.
Too many green ants there. Intercepting Manzi, he's got it in now, breaks through one, although very tight tackle there. I think that's a free kick given away, maybe an advantage called. No, it'll be free kick going the way of the Wanderers in the hands of Thompson.
Thompson been everywhere again, and he's exciting when he gets the ball in his hands, isn't he? He runs very, very fast. And good skills off both sides of his body.
I think he's gone with a bit of a barrel as well there, just looking for some ground, but marked by Shobin.
And it's been the tail of the tape a little bit. They're just bombing the ball forward, Wanderers. They've got to find a better way to get forward there.
Lee Peters on that wing. He's been patrolling that wing all season long and done a very good job at it. A bit of an unheralded player in this Pint side, but rarely has a blemish. As Taylor, he gets out of trouble. Handball away. Push down that far side. Waylon Walters trying to get to it, but beaten by the boundary line.
And Taylor's got all the skills, including the blind turn. You don't see that very often in NTFL football, so it was a fabulous way of getting out of that pack there.
And decent-sized fella as well, but still very agile.
Very much so.
Nearly 22 minutes gone here.
It's probably been their best player, I would say, at this stage, Wanderers.
And then comes in Wilson. He's got a few to get through. He does, pushes it to half forward. Schmetzer got it to the run of Fulton. Now he goes inside 50.
It's a good-looking kick, I think.
And it looks like it's been marked there by Tom Reeves.
And Tom Reeves in a great position to get Pint's fourth goal on the board and get a bit of a break going into the quarter-time break.
Usually, I think, played on the half-back line, so a rare opportunity at goal for him. We'll get his stats up for you in a second. That and kick,
he kicks like a backman.
Another relegated to the back line, you'd think,
back
again.
You go. Oh dear, we shouldn't say that, but that's true, isn't it? Ruckman and backman.
Well, in saying that, 225 games and 224 goals, so he's averaging one a game.
Not bad, is it? Good stats.
I wouldn't have thought so by that kick, but you can't kick them all, can you? As the ball's turned over at half forward again, Lee Peters doing the work, gets a handball into McCarthy. He'll have a shot on goal. No, he kicks it into space. Can't find Brett, who kicked their first two, and instead it's in the hands of Nathan Jones-Cabillo.
Looks forward to find an option. He's got a couple down there, but it's a very strong mark and attack on the ball from Pint.
Walters gets a handball over the top. Fulton finds it, but umpires called it over what looks like a very faint boundary line, but over nonetheless.
I think there's a boundary line there. I was also looking at the 50-metre arc. I couldn't see much there, but I'm assuming they're there. It's the rain and the constant travel around that makes it difficult for clubs to keep that looking sharp.
And that's the quarter-time siren that you would have faintly heard there, but it'll be PINT going with a 10-point advantage, 3-4-22 to the Wanderers, 2 straight 12. Quickly, we'll give you the goal scorers. Ben Brett with 2 for PINT and Hugh Schmetzer with 1. And for Wanderers, Jack Truan got the first inside 30 seconds and Dre Thompson another one from inside the goal square. We'll be back after this quarter-time break.
We're for being in it together. Like Danny's team. She'll be captain next year.
For real?
For real! Or like this couple, celebrating their anniversary.
29 years today.
30?
Whoops, awkward. Well, congrats either way. And Sarah. She loves walking at East Point every Saturday with her besties.
Keep up.
I'm trying, Sarah. TIO, we're for Territorians.
Kazali's Palmerston Club. Come and check out our cafe, open 7 days a week. Our kids club is open Wednesday to Sunday nights, including weekend lunchtime. Enjoy hot meals with nightly specials at the bistro or cold drinks at the sports bar. Feeling lucky? Have a go at the latest machines in our gaming lounge or grab your mates for a round of pool. Family gatherings or casual meetings, we have something for everyone. Kazali's Palmerston Club, making a difference.
Bring it up, up. Bring it back, bring it back, bring it back, bring it back, up, up. Bring it back, bring it back, bring it.
Buffaloes, not Waratah Buffaloes, is it? We'll try Wanderers and Buffaloes. We're back live into the second quarter.
And looks like the sun's poking through the clouds now as PINT roll it forward now. Through for a behind, though. The first score of this second quarter. Taylor will do the kicking out for the Wanderers. Had a couple of good torpedoes in that first quarter, Dodgy.
Yeah, brilliant kicks, just not quite on target, but it was a great kick out of that back line and nice, strong. See how he goes this time. He's looking for a shorter option, I think.
Looking for Thompson, who's probably been one of the more exciting plays for Wanderers today. Kicked a goal. Now off to Fulton, though. They work it back inside 50, pushing it out to a lead. Free kick for a hold, and PINT will have an early shot on goal for the big fella Schmetzer, and another 50-metre penalty.
Wow, just not giving the ball back quick enough. I don't know. Yeah, well, I assume that's what it was. I couldn't see anything else that happened.
Schmetzer
Unless it was descent.
had a shocking shank early and kicked another one from point-blank range in the first quarter.
And you don't want to give a forward a couple of easy goals like that because they certainly get their confidence up, and that's a purely thing that you don't want to do as a backman.
And disappointing, no one on the line either. At least make them work for it. Schmetzer, easy as you like, gets his second.
Bit of undisciplined play from both parts there with the 50-metre penalty, and then not putting your hands up on the mark. You've at least got to pretend to try.
So PINT with an early break, 17-point lead. Could be more, 4 goals, 5 they've already kicked today. Wanderers just with the 2 scoring shots on the board.
And 9 scoring shots to 2 tells a bit of a tale of the tape again. Once again, Wanderers have got to get their ball down there, get the movement that they're getting off the back line to result in some shots on goal and just to put some pressure on, scoreboard pressure on. That's one of our younger umpires. I'm not sure who that is. It's
McCarthy, he'll do a ball up. He'll do a ruck hit out, I should say. Works it back through traffic. Gets into Reeves. And then handball goes over from Maloney. Again, just working it backwards. Smiler, he intercepts. He has a snap towards goal, but it's shanked well wide. And through for a point.
not right, nice.
Young Josh Cooper.
Cooper, yes. I couldn't think. Coops is a famous name around the clubs.
Young Josh Cooper, that umpire number 6. He's also joined today by, we saw Sam Cunningham out there as well, as it's kicked in the back line from Ethan Smith. He finds his target again in Reeves. And then they work it down the line now with Tom's shot. Again, just trying to find some ground and distance. They can't. Both sides have sort of struggled moving forward to find that easy target. I think it's probably a mix of good defence, but also just a little bit of sloppy kick. As we know, today's game, a bit of a dead rubber, so not the best season for either of these two sides, but that ball's touched will go over the boundary line on the wing.
I think both sides will be looking to improve on their goal kicking next year. It's probably the part of the game that's held them back from approaching higher on the ladder. Mark Wiley, the new coach at PINT, I think he would be a bit disappointed with the way things have gone for his way.
Ball tapped down from McCarthy. He's having a good day in the ruck. Gets it to Alex McCarthy. Two of them out there. His kick inside 50, just bounced between a couple of
good solid footy
Eagles players. And then Ben Brett, he's already got 2 today. That makes it 3. He's third and his first of the quarter. Puts it out to a 22-point lead, 5-5-35 to 2-1-13.
And he's been the difference between the two sides currently. He's got 3 goals and he's just a live wire down there. He's always got something happening. Good
He's
skills.
a really dynamic player up there as well. His first 2 goals, I think, came off marks, and his first one was a good, strong leading mark out of full forward. Second one just sort of crumbing and poking through the pack, and that one a good snap at ground level as well. So has many different avenues to goal, does Ben Brett.
Yeah, he does, and he's got skills on both sides of the body, which makes a big difference when you've got that ball coming down as quickly as it did then. Back into the centre again, and let's see whether Wanderers can get a clearance here. That's one area they've sort of missed out a little bit as well. Lost the football. Just waiting for a second footy to come in. Here it comes. A small but vocal crowd, you'd say, Will?
Yeah, I think so. You'd think that the Wanderers in particular as well, as I said, I think they've got their best and fairest night tonight. They'd probably all try and move as a collective from A to B in terms of the ground of Prezzo night. Yeah, you wonder if that'll sort of try and spur them on a bit. At this stage, it seems like Pint's the more willing side that's taken the field today with that 22-point lead in their favour. But Wanderers move forward now. Handball comes out from Fijo, very wide and over the boundary line. They couldn't keep it alive through Eastick. But in saying that, yeah, Pint, I mean, every club sort of wants to win their last game of the season regardless of where you finish on the ladder.
And Wanderers now class this as their home ground. They share the ground down there with the Village, so it's one of their home games, which they would hope to win most of their home games and make it a bit of a cauldron of defeat for visiting sides.
Smith with it now.
Smith's got a shot on opportunity to set the forward up, and beautifully done.
Yeah, very good kick into Truan, who's probably a chance to win a medal at tonight's medal count. Best and fairest count. Could be, I think he'd be the leading goal kicker for the club at least. He's had a very good year, very consistent year.
He has, and might feature in the Nichols medal in a few weeks as well.
Yeah, probably the one who comes to mind when you're looking at that Nichols medal voting for Wanderers. Maybe also someone like Cody Leggett as well. But Truan's kick is going through, and his second of the day as well.
Umpire didn't have to move that time well. It was just straight over the umpire's head, and that's the way you want your forwards to kick goals.
Yeah, absolutely. He's another one who can find them from just about anywhere in that forward line. He's kicked a couple of very handy goals from tight angles across the season, and also pretty handy lead.
Yeah,
that's full forward too.
And that's good. I mean, they've put them right back in the game. They're only a couple of goals down here, and I think that's what Wanderers needed. If you're going to write a script at quarter time, we'd get the first couple in. And I see Sarah Pasek running watered out there from Hot 100. So she's a fabulous football person and has been working in that club for a long, long time.
Yeah, great club person around the place. You see just about any game, any Wanderers team takes the field in as Thompson works the ball forward now. Good strong tackle in the midfield from McCarthy. Wanderers still trying to keep it in their remit as Smith picks it up and breaks away. Umpire calls for a whistle. Pinter away, advantage called. Here comes Alex McCarthy. One bounce he's taken, then goes inside 50. Kicked it a bit too far to the fat side, and Mitch Taylor will break away, you'd think, from Shobin. And he's also got Bates hot on his tail. He kicks it well wide. Umpire, I think he might have called for a... It's been pushed too wide there, Taylor, so he's taken it over the boundary line. We'll have a boundary throw in.
Boundary throw in, and he should have just got that ball up because he was quick off the run, and unfortunately his kick wasn't quite up to where he was. Probably ran a bit too far.
Umpire will ball it in. Nicky competing in the ruck. Comes down to O'Connell. Handball away to Smiler.
Ran into trouble. I think he's been caught. Yep. Yeah, just you can't turn on a tackle. You're going to get caught each time.
A little quiet today, Sonny Smiler, but he's been a revelation for them as well, and you'd think they want to keep him as a big part of their future going forward too. Kick goes inside for Pint. A free kick going against them though. Just a bit of contact against McCarthy in the hands of Leggett now. He pushes it to Smith.
Smith looking everywhere to try and get a run, and here comes a run, taps it forward beautifully into an attacking zone, and once again it looks like the Pint are going to repel.
Unconventional, nearly worked for Wanderers, but Pint, they're working it forward now. Handball comes out, breaking through there. I think that might have been Maloney again. Got two to beat his shot. One of them ends up with the ball in Matthew Motlop. His kick down the line didn't hit his target on the full. Jones intercepted, now very tight on the boundary line and taken over just near the Pint benches. Fulton and Peters come on for some fresh legs.
Yeah, it's important they keep the rotations up because it's a sapping day when it's humid like it is, and you've got to keep those rotations going. I see a Pint player just sucking the big ones just on the side there, on the timekeeper's box.
Yeah, and it's not it's a decent day for footy out there. It's probably going to be much nicer when the sun's behind clouds. It's poked through and promised a few times today as the McCarthy's combined there to get the ball cleared away from the contest. Back to Fulton now.
Well, Fulton.
He just throws on the boot, works it forward. Jones, I think it was, gets boot to ball, and he'll earn himself a free kick.
In a scoring position. Looks like he might have hurt himself a little bit, might be just winded, but he's going to be in a great spot to kick their sixth goal.
Jones been a very handy contributor. He's even pinch hit in the ruck a few times this year. I don't necessarily like him there. I think he's completes their forward line a little bit better, but when you need someone to pinch hit and give your main ruck a rest, he's definitely not a bad option at all.
And a lot of players in the NTFL, a lot of coaches in TFL do that now. They use their forwards backwards and forwards, but also in the ruck once again, as you said, to pinch hit and give a chop out to the main ruckman.
Jones, 11 goals this season from his 13 games. His biggest return, 3 goals, is kicked twice against Palmerston and Southern Districts in back-to-back weeks, rounds 4 and 5.
Lines up beautifully now. He's got the ball his head right over the ball. It looks like a complete footballer when he runs forward like that.
Oh, he's absolutely sprayed that one.
Of course he has, and that's always going to happen when a commentator says it looks good off the boot. It's unfortunate. 5 goals, 5-35. I think they're currently sitting, and that's 10 scoring shots on goal to 4, which means they've had a dominant forward line, but just been a little bit offline. And
it must be a bit of bustling wind out there as well, because there's been a few shanks off the boot as Smith, he brings it back into play now. Good kick, he finds a target in Fijo.
Fijo's been a terrific player for Wanderers all year, and he's done well again today.
He was looking for Truan, came off hands, and he was pressured by Maloney, and now he breaks through. No, he doesn't. Handball gets a bit of touch on it, and Smiler has to do the work, gives it to Smith, bounced over him, not hard when he's such a little fella there, as PINT, they'll now try and get it on the rebound. Wilson gets it to McCarthy, then he gets it out to Fulton now. He was forced to stop in his tracks as the ball didn't come fully to him. Now back to Manzi, who we've said's been really good, and that's a very nicely composed kick. McCarthy then got it to Wilson.
Yeah, looking really good.
He goes on to a lead. Oh, thought there might have been some hands in there, but Bates has done well. Bit too far out to goal, you think. He's giving it off to a lead at the top of the square. Oh, very well done by Schmetzer. And again, just out-muscled his opponent. He'll have a decent shot from, not too far out at all.
Too high, too strong, too tall in that situation. Much too tall for the defender, and just put his hands up. And he's got very soft hands. I've watched that a couple of times. He marks the ball beautifully, just holds it in there so you don't get a chance to punch it out if you're a defender.
This would be his 4th shot for the day. His 2 goals would come from point blank range. His first shot on goal, probably from a similar angle, similar distance down the other end, absolutely shanked it off the boot. What can he do here?
His confidence should be high. He's got a couple on the board.
Stiff arms in his ball drop, but if it works, it works. That one, the umpire's barely moved, and he gets his 3rd of the afternoon. 6-6-42. PINT leading the Wanderers 3-1-19. We have a 23-point margin.
And it's interesting, we were talking before about that off air, about how forwards over the years have always been confidence players, and if you get a couple of goals early, it certainly makes your day better when you're heading towards goals. There's nothing worse than missing 4 or 5 and then trying to get a 4th or 5th. It's one of those things in footy that you just gets inside your head a little bit. And PINT have basically steadied the ship here. They've had control of the footy mostly, but here they are sitting with a very comfortable lead. And I think if Wanderers need to win this game, they need to hit back straight away here and get some control and get some footy going forward.
Yeah, I think they've done okay, Dodgy, at sort of holding and maintaining possession, but they need to actually make it count for something, which they probably haven't done enough today. Apart from Truan, it doesn't really seem like they've been forward enough to even find a main target in their forward 50. Truan is probably the main man, but you can't just rely on him, because sooner or later, and PINT have probably already caught onto it already, they know he's going to be the main man, so they need to find other avenues to goal. Dre Thompson, we know he's kicked 1, but the other 2 have gone to Truan.
And Thompson being a smaller forward, I think that's what you need, a couple of those smaller forwards to give some extra goal-kicking ability. If you get more than 5 goals out at half-time, it's a struggle.
Reeves to Wilson, and then forward again. Manzi playing on that half-forward flank.
Manzi,
he
beautiful.
Breaks away. Right foot kick. Oh, that's a good mark to Jones.
What a mark. He had total control over that, didn't he? He didn't look he's ever going to drop it.
And I think he almost had to dive for it. It was just off the off screen of the camera, but he's almost marked it below standing point.
And as you were saying before, you can see the wind kicking up out here today at Tracy Village, and I think that's probably a sign of some rain or storms coming in from the sea. So that's going to make it a bit difficult, but it looks like the PINT have controlled that pretty well when they're kicking towards goal.
Jones with a little bit of a stutter in his lineup. That one across the face and won't bother the scorers. Marked on that last line.
So Wanderers looking to come out the fat side now, if they can, try and switch the play away from the big players.
Charles just kicks it long and wide. Leggett takes a good mark coming in from the side.
Leggett's darting eyes backwards and forwards looking for a runner, but he's going to have to kick it long again.
You'd almost feel like Leggett could be another option in their forward line if they get stuck. He's very big body, knows how to crash a pack, but Fulton now working back through traffic. He got it to, I think that's to Peters, and then inside 50 he goes. Reeves gets boot to ball. Jones just stumbled, but that might work out for him. Running back, he puts a tackle on Motlop. Motlop gets a hand away and just fumbled through by Taylor. Pint possibly trying to argue that there could have been a bit of deliberate intentions behind it, but Taylor's done that well.
Just turn the body, that's all you got to do. Look, I think Pint is trying to play that chaos ball forward now pretty well, and they're making sure that they're exposing the lack of height that Wanderers have in their backline. With currently sitting with over a four-goal lead, it's a good position to be in. You can try a couple of different things, can't you, when you're going forward?
Yeah, absolutely, and they'd possibly be looking for that in this sort of game too, where there's not as much to play for. You wonder if in the second half, probably more likely to look at who's a player who we want to try and give a goal for the season as well, if they're maybe having a send-off, or even someone like Manzi, who's a youngster who, they just want to share a bit of love to in the last game of the season. But Wanderers, they now work it back off the half-back flank, pushing forward down the line.
Great grab.
Good hands there from Smith.
Smith goes short down the line, and he looks like he's found a player on his own there. So plenty of run coming out of the Pint back line here.
Reeves to Shob, and then over the top. In fact, this is Shob now. Maloney it was in the middle. Came off his hands. Fulton will pick it up now. Is he in range? Gets a handball off.
Probably didn't trust his kick there, but he probably was in range.
Oh, nearly a bit of a tunnel action there, but the kick's gone forward and marked by Leggett. I think we might have the ball brought back.
Brady kick to Pint.
I think Ben Brett will be the one with ball in hand.
A little bit of push and shove going off the ball there, and you're watching the AFL NT coverage, TI coverage live here from Tracy Village, between the big game between the Wanderers and Pint. Pretty interesting game. There's a little bit of push and shove happening, but doesn't seem to be too much in it. Probably just a bit of showing the flag, and a few boys getting a bit sore when they get knocked around there.
Yeah, you can see Josh Smith from Wanderers and Ben Brett just giving each other a little bit of a cuddle. No niggles at all in there, so... I think just making sure that the player, might have been Andy Jones by the look of the beard on him, is all right.
We've just lost the camera a little bit there, but looks like there's a shot on goal and successful. So that's Pint's 7 goal going into this quarter. So 17 minutes in, that's a big break that Pint have got there. Over 5 goals, and it's a strong lead. And it's also looking like that around the ground. They look like they've got dominance in the possession here. Wanderers once again, they're trying hard. They just they seem to lose their way when they get out of that back line, and anything after half forward, it's just a bit of a struggle for them. So they just need to find an option or two going forward. And as you mentioned, a couple of players they could try forward just to try a few things in the second half of the game.
Schmetzer, the goal kicker there, so it looks like he's got 4 for the game, and I think 3 of those have come from free kicks in the goal square.
He's got 3 from free kicks, yeah, and he's saying thank you very much. I'll have 4 or 5 goals by the end of the game, and that's looking nice for me.
You take him out, it's only 2 goals the difference. Or you take those 3 free kicks out, it's only 2 goals the difference. So Wanderers really not helping their own cause here as Leggett takes it, goes for a second bounce.
Cricket pitch.
Nearly got away from me. I think he decided after that I'll better throw it on the boot. Smith tried to put some contact on.
Look at the pace. Look at the size of this fella on the back line.
Now it comes to McCarthy.
Menzies, McCarthy, they've got plenty of height, haven't they?
Now back to Reeves. Looks like he give it off to a runner. Oh, good lead there as well from Bates.
Bates looking forward, looking for an option. Just
came off hands.
Hands off, yeah.
Into Schmetzer. Now with Ryan. Had some more pressure on. Good to see Jones is still out there now into shot. Had a bit of turmoil this week as well. He'd love a goal here. Snaps around, and that's through for a major.
A little bit of turmoil in the Pint Footy Club this week, but that's all been dealt with, and they're just focusing on footy. I spoke to their president last night, and he's pretty relaxed about today and the season finishing up, and looking forward to another one next year.
And Tom's shot barring that blemish, has been a pretty good captain for them and player for the club for a number of years now as well. Another one who he's probably played a little bit more in the midfield given how dynamic that forward line is, but another one who, you don't really want to let him too loose off the leash in that forward line because he knows where to find him.
And I'll just say something a little bit here. I think a few recruiters are looking at some of those forwards at PINT and saying, do you really want to play there and be the fourth forward, or would you like to come and be our first forward? So
yeah, they've got a lot of sought-after players, I think.
Yeah, they have. And their under-18 division also, under-18 boys are strong too in that area. So they got some height down there at the PINT.
Leggett, he breaks away. He's done very well. So Wanderers have the manpower in the middle, particularly through Smith and Leggett, but they just can't get their hands on it in their forward line, and PINT seem to be reaping rewards off half-back moving forward. Shobin, he takes the mark, then gives a handball off to McCarthy. He'll turn and go, gives it off to Wilson in the middle.
Great. Picked him out beautifully, didn't he?
He's probably looking to get the post-game award for the muddiest bloke at this stage, looking at the amount of muck he's got on his jumper, but that's a sign of someone getting in and under.
There was a photo of him in the NT News last week just wiping the mud out of his eyes, so he loves to do that.
And then rolling around, PINT pushing it forward again. Players stop, but the ball doesn't go over the line. Free kick has been paid. Mitchie Taylor not looking too happy. I think it'll be another free kick going to PINT.
And he's just looking a bit frustrated, Mitch, because he's doing everything he can, but he's just not getting support around the ground from his fellow players, and easy free kicks given, which are not good.
Oh, tight angle for Brett. He didn't look too happy with where the umpire was pushing him back to. Do you go the check side here or run around on his left? Or
be looking for a short option, I'd think, if it was me. He's looking for a handball myself.
Got three to his name today already.
Yeah, he's not going to look for handballs. He's a forward.
He and Schmetzer could be in for a decent afternoon between them. 8
Check
goals
side
between the two. He's put that one through
for a point. Yeah. So he just the wrong side of the goalpost there, and he looked pretty good off the boot. I thought it was there, as you did, but not quite there.
I was very confident with it. Thought he'd worked the angle well, but that's maybe why I don't have as many goals to my name as he does.
I wonder if it's worth wanting to try Mitch Taylor down forward and just leave him to rove around that half forward line, because he's been lively, and they just need another avenue to goal.
You do feel for him as well. You almost would want him to go in, or his coach at half-time to come in and say, you're absolutely killing this bloke. He's giving us everything. He's working his butt off at full back, but he can't stop it when it's going in there 30 times a quarter.
Yeah, and that's the hardest thing in footy, isn't it? When you're facing a side that's rebuilding and the ball just keeps coming in and coming in, eventually the weight of numbers is going to get the score going.
Smiler a long way from home. He pushes it down that far side as well. Looking for the tall timber in Roberts. Comes off his hands. PINT just surging forward in waves. And
they're really dominating this game. You've already got a 7-goal lead, and it's very difficult now to see how Wanderers are going to turn this around. They've just got to play everything and play for next year and think about what's been happening and look at what they can do to improve on this forward approach.
Almost 23 minutes gone. PINT looking for one last one in this quarter. They've kicked 5 for the term.
Schmetzer again.
It's a handball, looking for the run of Wilson. Not quite the right side. Smiler. Oh, he's dropped it. Breaking through was Reeves. Then handball back.
It's going to cost him a goal here.
Now I think this is Thompson. Has a shot. Just hooks it a little bit.
Hooks it going forward, and once again that breeze a little bit tricky down there, so they're sitting at 8 goals 8, so 16 scoring shots for a score of 57, but anything over above 60 is going to make it difficult for them to lose this, I think.
And Taylor, again, his kick out from full-back, not bad, but just not enough work done to keep it in PINT possession. We'll go straight back over his head again with another snap on goal. That one very, very high, and again, just being caught in the wind through for a behind. 5 goals 6 they've kicked for the quarter.
A rainmaker, you'd call that one. At 5 goals 6 shows the dominance all around, particularly around the forward line, and they're also winning nearly every ruck tap. So it's a situation where Wanderers have got to work on a couple of things. Obviously, they've got to work on winning out of the centre, but it's more about making sure that they've got somewhere to go when they go forward.
So Taylor will try something different now. Plays on and takes the bounce, then kicks it to Leggett.
Great mark.
Probably those two, along with Smith on screen, the 3
paid against him, though.
Best players in Wanderers colours today.
Must have been out in the fall. Too high.
Oh, Wilson dropped his legs there, copped a high, but
coat hanger.
Handball is a bit stray and goes over the boundary line. As you're watching AFL NT's coverage of the 2024-25 TIO NTFL Premiership season.
And we thank TIO for their ongoing sponsorship, been sponsors for a long time of the NTFL, and they're a fabulous organisation.
Ball to come in now. Dying seconds of this first half at Tracy Village. Pint with a decent lead over Wanderers. Smith gets another clearance. Probably in the pick of the midfielders on the ground today, you'd say. Oh, he's been a bit quiet the second half of this second quarter. Free kick going the way of Wanderers.
So Wanderers need to get a goal here to get anywhere near some sort of respectability going into half-time. Oh.
Out to Leggett. He pushes it a little bit forward, trying to find a target. Free kick will go the way of Pints, though.
Perceived pressure then. There was nobody near him, but he thought there was, and he hurried the handball, and unfortunately it caused a turnover.
Manzi goes back to Shoban.
Chauvin looks solid, doesn't he?
In fact, it's I've got my ones and my twos mixed up. That was Rich Pendle.
Pendle. Pendle looks solid, doesn't he?
He does. And to Thompson. Then into Tyler Big.
Haven't called him much today, Tyler Big, but he's got a good chance to set things up here again for Pint. Just kicked the ball out. Is it half-time?
And that's the half-time siren going. So we have a 39-point lead in favour of Pint.
That quarter, just incredible difference between the two sides. So Pint just dominated everything there, goal kicking around the ground. You can't see him losing it from here, and it's unfortunate because up to that stage we thought Wanderers were competitive.
Yeah, absolutely. Thought you'd come into this game and think that both sides would fight tooth and nail for a last bit of cheer in season 24-25, but it seems the Green Ants have come out marching forward pretty strongly together. 8 goals they've got, 4 of those to Schmetzer, and I think 4, if not at least 3 of those come from free kicks, Dodgy. And
yeah, and that just shows a bit of undisciplined play. They've got to they've got to sort of focus on what it is that they've done well in this game and try and focus on the positives, because it's a long time between now and the season starting again. You're talking about October, so they're going to be off on holiday now for a long time, and there's a long time to think about how badly you play. So if you can at least get some respectability and making sure you're not giving silly free kicks, particularly in the forward line. I think they've given away 2 50-metre penalties, and just scrappy a little bit when it's been not necessary. But Pint on the other side, they've looked the professional outlet. They've looked like they're trying to build on next season. Very, very strong forward line, as we mentioned a couple of times, and they're just looking like they've got to control this game, obviously with over a 7-goal lead.
Absolutely. We'll see if they can add on to their 7-goal lead after our half-time break.
We're for looking after things, like Debs does with her pool.
Job done.
Almost. The joys of having palms, eh, Debs? Or like Greg does with his pot plants. They'll love the afternoon sun there, Greg.
That's exactly what I thought.
Great minds. And Tom here, who's assessing Ben and Bet's place after the recent storm.
Everything's in order.
Tickety-boo, Tom. TIO, we're for Territorians.
Kazali's Palmerston Club. Come and check out our cafe, open 7 days a week. Our kids club is open Wednesday to Sunday nights, including weekend lunchtime. Enjoy hot meals with nightly specials at the bistro or cold drinks at the sports bar. Feeling lucky? Have a go at the latest machines in our gaming lounge or grab your mates for a round of pool. Family gatherings or casual meetings, we have something for everyone. Kazali's Palmerston Club, making a difference.
Bring it up, up. Bring it back, bring it back, bring it back. Bring it back, up, up. Bring it back, bring it back.
We're for being in it together. Like Danny's team. She'll be captain next year.
For real?
For real! Or like this couple, celebrating their anniversary.
29 years today.
30?
Whoops, awkward. Well, congrats either way. And Sarah. She loves walking at East Point. We're for being in it together. Like Danny's team. She'll be captain next year.
For real?
For real! Or like this couple, celebrating their anniversary.
29 years today.
30?
Whoops, awkward. Well, congrats either way. And Sarah. She loves walking at East Point every Saturday with her besties.
Keep up.
I'm trying, Sarah. TIO, we're for Territorians.
Kazali's Palmerston Club. Come and check out our cafe, open 7 days a week. Our kids club is open Wednesday to Sunday nights, including weekend lunchtime. Enjoy hot meals with nightly specials at the bistro or cold drinks at the sports bar. Feeling lucky? Have a go at the latest machines in our gaming lounge or grab your mates for a round of pool. Family gatherings or casual meetings, we have something for everyone. Kazali's Palmerston Club, making a difference.
Bring it up, up.
Welcome to AFL&T's coverage of round 18 of the 2024-25 TIO NTFL season from Tracy Village. The big clash today between Wanderers and PINT, and it's a fabulous game of footy so far, although we did think that in that last quarter, PINT just took it away from Wanderers a bit. What did you think, Will?
Yeah, look, absolutely. At quarter time, it was a 10-point margin. You thought we could have a pretty good game on our hands. The fight for sixth spot, the coveted sixth spot, top of the best of the rest. But it wasn't to be. PINT put on 5 goals and 6 points in that quarter to just 1 goal, and took that 10-point margin out to 39 points. So, yeah, looking like it's going to be a lot for the Wanderers to come back from. And given there's not as much to play for, they're probably, possibly even off on their annual Bali trip that the teams take for their post-season holiday. They'll just be looking forward to that, I guess.
Yeah, they will. Look, a bit of pride, I think, is the thing, and pride in the jumper. Pride. It's a proud club, the Muckmucks. They've been around for a long time. They're one of the foundation clubs of the NTFL. Just had their 50th, I think it was, game year this year. So there's a bit of pride on this line, and those old supporters and old players, probably some of them watching our coverage today, they'll be looking to see if they can give us something in that second half and show some spirit, show some ability, and just show some muck spirit. And I think that's what they'll be looking to try and do. They probably can't win the game, but it's a step-by-step process for them as a rebuild going into 2026-27 season, which is, 25-26, I'll get it right, 26.
24-25, 25-26, yeah.
The next season. And they need a couple of players, but they need to get something from their senior players there as well. Some of those guys that have been around the club for a long time just need to stand up.
Yeah, in saying that as well, PINT, they had a pretty disappointing week last week. I think it was, as you said, they had a past players' day, they had their ladies' day, so a massive crowd for their last home game at PINT Oval. Really should have won that game in 2 or 3 silly late goals from 50-metre penalties costing that game ultimately. They would have come out today thinking, let's get one last little bit of cheer, let's give some pain out before the end of the season, and it's looking like that's what they're doing. 39 points up at half-time.
They have, and 39 points at half-time is a good lead. You'd hope to go on from there, and as a PINT player, you're just looking to make sure that you keep doing what you do, and their assistant coaching crew will be looking to try and make sure they can build on their strengths from this game and going into the new season with a bit of a strength in pre-season and hold on to those big players we've been talking about.
Just before we get underway, Dodgy, your best players so far in this one?
Oh, look, Richie Taylor, I think definitely for Muckmucks. Manzi's definitely in the mix for PINT, and of course the guy that's got all the goals being you could throw a blanket over probably half a dozen or so PINT players also that have been in the best.
Yeah, I think for me, Austin Smith has been the best midfielder on the game. Maybe it's his dreadlocks standing out to me. I've really liked the game of Cam Wilson as well, who looks like he could be getting his hand on the ball there. But Ben Brett, I think, has been a bit more dynamic in the forward line with his 3 goals. Schmetzer does have the 4, but as we've said a few times, most of them from free kicks in point-blank range. He comes true, and he kicked the first goal of the game. And
it's kicked out beautifully.
Another one in that second quarter. It's a good kick. He's gone up to find, I think it's Ben Charles, who was playing full-back first stage in that second quarter. They've moved him into the forward line.
And that's a good move. Just throw a few players around, try them in different positions, see if you can get some scoreboard pressure going. Not seen him kick many goals, Ben Charles, so we'll see what he looks good in the approach, though.
Yeah, he's been a handy contributor for them this year, particularly, I think, this side of Christmas. It's a good-looking kick over the umpire's head, and they get the first inside a minute of the third quarter as well. Best
to start that Wanderers could have is getting a player that usually plays on the back line down forward, kicks a goal. A few players around the ground will get a bit of a confidence from that, and they should be able to build on that and have repeat entries into the forward line.
Yeah, absolutely. Still a long way to go for them, but it's the best start they could want.
I think they probably realise they're not going to win the game, but it's just making sure that they do everything they can to keep it respectable and get some pride, as we sort of talked about, and get some system going ready for the new year. So the umpire walks back to the middle of the ground. It's a beautiful day for football today. There's no sun. It's a little bit humid, but there's no rain, and the ground is looking in pretty good condition considering where we are in the season.
And in the middle we go, Josh McCarthy. He's been a really good contributor for PINT this year. I think related to Alex McCarthy, who's also out there. Both of them been really handy. Here comes Alex McCarthy putting pressure on Leggett. Leggett's kicked down the line. Great, and I think it's been turned over. It come off the side of the boot now on the full. Reeves pushes it forward. No, it'll be a free kick here for... Not sure what it was. Maybe a hit on McCarthy late.
Didn't quite see it. It was off the ball, yeah.
Loading up, told to move now. Kicks it to Jones, who's come in and crashed the pack from the side. And that Wanderers defender not happy with himself. He hit the deck pretty hard. Looks like they've broken through the lines here, though. Jonah Austin and his teammate had a few to beat. They worked it through. The kick not good, though. Turned over in the middle of the ground to Pendle. He then goes on to Big. Inside 50, couldn't find the target, turned over at half back again.
And you don't mind if you get hit pretty hard on the back line, if you hit laid on your coccyx bone, but you want to make sure you take the mark at the same time.
And kicked from full back, looking for the switch now.
They've done this well too. They've switched it out to the fat side, and they've got it moving.
They feel a bit rejuvenated, don't they, Dodgy, this second half?
Well, they turn that over badly, though. It's the tail of the tape. They do some silly things on that back line.
And just as I've given them a wrap, they've let me down as Reeves has a snap-on goal, or unmanned player in Jones full forward. Unforgivable.
Absolutely unforgivable. Jones is a big player. You can't miss him, and he's not that quick. So just stand next to him, put a body in front of him, try and, if you can't get two on him, try and get at least one to put some body pressure.
Yeah, you're right. He's probably relatively agile for a big fella. He's big and strong, but speed's not his forte. That one, though, he can kick, and he's put that one through for his first of the afternoon and PINT's first of the third quarter.
And all of a sudden, the Wanderers' heads drop a little bit because they thought they had a couple chances, and they're not able to get repeat entries. I've noticed that a few times. They get an entry in, they get some results, but they just don't seem to be able to get repeat entries going forward.
And for all the good work that Smith and Leggett, and I think also even Josh Smith is doing in the middle of the ground, they just can't get, even if they do get a kick inside to 40 or 45 metres out from goal, there's just no one there really to contest and take a mark.
But if you're Mark Motlop, who's the president of the club, and you're looking at that, the committee, and you're saying, well, we can build a club around that. We've got some good quality players in that midfield. We just need to find a couple of key position players, perhaps to back them up. And there are opportunities down south and here in local football.
And what we were saying before, Dodgy, a few blokes in green and gold today who might be getting some calls in the off-season. Plenty of forwards in PINT's colours, not playing today, but also on the field today as Manzi works it forward. PINT working back through traffic. Now McCarthy, he just pushes it out wide to the run of Wilson. He'll have Leggett to beat. Been a really good midfield battle today as well, that one. Leggett wins. He gets it off to Antoine O'Connell. And then I think this is Fijo gets it to Smith. Almost tackled before he was holding it. Umpire calls for a ball up.
And Fijo good there, but just don't put they call it a hospital hand pass, don't they? It's just you pressure your small player and you put it up in the air, and there's all sorts of contact going to come on him.
McCarthy had a few taps at it there, so too Wilson. His handball intercepted, and Thane Blake moves it forward now. Ball inside 50 looking for Truan, but just a bit too wide for him.
Not a bad result, though, because the forwards weren't set, so try and get almost like a rugby, kick it into touch. Keep it somewhere in your forward attacking zone, and have a chance to reset and get your forwards down there. Giving Sarah another rap. See, she's on the camera again.
Front and centre.
Get away, Sarah.
And almost within range for the Wanderers. Can they get another goal here and just bring some respectability back into the scoreline here? Doesn't look like it'll be in this play as Wilson just gets booed onto ball, kicks it long, looking for shot. He'll pick it up at ground level. No, big strong body in there. I think that was from Dre Thompson. Oh, and then
another
a big
second
slam. Gee, they're going to get into him here.
Yeah.
He's not happy, and they're not happy with him.
But Dre did well. He just, the second effort was good. I know he's paid against him, but he did well and tried to sort of get something happening. But it looks like PINT are going to go into attack again, running forward, almost unassisted. There's nobody there. Just a little handball over the top, and a nice easy shot on goal.
So Bates gets it. Good work from Ben Brett to take the advantage, just strode away, and then it was 2-on-1, easy as you like from there.
And if you're a coach, you don't worry too much about that. I know it's undisciplined and, it's not what we want in our game, but you know the player's given his all and he's tried to do something and it hasn't worked out. So I wouldn't be too upset if I saw that from Wanderers.
And there's, without, slamming them too much, the Wanderers today, there's not many others flying the flag at the moment.
No, definitely not. And Richie Taylor probably is the other one that puts everything on the line, but the rest of them, Truan perhaps, but the rest of them just they look like they're just waiting for the siren to, and I'm sure that's not the case, but it's a big lead now. You're talking about 8 goals or more than 8 goals to come back, and it's just destroying if you're a forward player or if you're any sort of player around Wanderers. You just got to try and focus on what you can, which is winning each contest.
Out now to 45 points. Reeves putting some Body contact on as well.
The famous John Kennedy coach, just do something. Just try and win a ball, try and tack somebody, knock a ball out, do something to make sure that you're getting some results for your team.
I think there's potentially I think the ball's burst, yeah.
Don't see that very often. The kookaburras are generally he kicked it not too bad considering it was flat. Another kookaburra there, here it comes. So for our interstate watchers, it's it's the end of the season. Obviously, we're usually in our mid of our wet season, but we haven't had that much rain, so the grounds are in good condition around suburban Darwin currently.
Smiler, he gets it forward. Now Wanderers trying just to find something their forward line true, and he'll be the danger man all day. You'd think he gets that one just inside the centre corridor, but couldn't find a target. Handball from Ludwig gets it out. And there's a free kick being paid possibly to the Wanderers here now.
It's going to go to
Goldway's Pint.
Couldn't really see that, but we didn't see what happened off the ball.
In the hands of Smith, he pushes it out wide now, looking for his teammate, finds him.
And Wanderers need to keep running. They're just all standing with their hands on their hips. They need to keep running and keep trying to contest each time.
They did pretty well in that first half as well, just sort of winning possession, but they couldn't break the lines, Wanderers. You don't want to see them give up possession too much here either, because that's when Pint's really going to run away with it and it could start to get really ugly. As they break the lines here through McCarthy, he pushes it to half forward, spills through hands, comes into shot. Oh, that was very, very clever, very smooth, and Pint get a goal. Another one, and that margin finally over 50 points.
The 11th goal for them today, and probably wouldn't see a better one there. They start to even up the kicks to goals to points, and that's always a problem if you're an opposing side. You try, and if they've missed a few, you want to keep them the other way around. But that scoreline is looking strong now for Pint, and well done to Pint. They just keep running in packs, don't they? They keep running through the lines, and that's what's causing the problems to the Wanderers backline.
Fourth of the afternoon to Ben Brett. His first of the third quarter.
Amazing player today. He's just been the dominant forward, hasn't he? And just ran on to the end of that. But you've got to run on to the end of it. You've still got to kick him. You've still got to take possession. So it's important that you keep doing that as a forward.
Yeah, absolutely. He did give one off a few moments ago, which went to Sam Bates in the goal square. So could have more today, Ben Brett, and maybe another shot. I think he had a shot in that first quarter he should have kicked, which he missed. But yeah, very good afternoon for him as Josh McCarthy in the middle just fists it forward.
Probably worth a kick. That fist, it went 15 metres at least.
Smith gives it to a runner on half back in Motlop. He pushes it out that far side now. Good tackle from Manzi. Handball spills out. Just shrugs it, turns around. I think that might have been Miller. He pushes it forward. Schmetzer takes a mark. A bit too far out for him.
They're playing him further up the ground now, Schmetzer. They're playing him in sort of roving ruck rover, I think, and he's giving him some trouble around the ground.
Into Alex McCarthy. Oh, hesitates a little bit, unsure where to go.
Should be play on.
Calls it now into the forward pocket, and Taylor just, he should have taken that one easy. Uncharacteristically, drops off his chest and he takes it over the boundary line.
Normally very clean, isn't he, Mitch? And he missed that one totally. Just misjudged it, I think, and it just went below his feet. At least he controlled it out of the ground, so it didn't do too much damage. Ball will come in now. You'd put Mitch Teller in your first 18 in any side, I think, and he's the sort of player they can once again start building their team around. Smith tried to get clearance out of there. Looks like the whistle's blown, and it'll be a free kick going the way of Pint and Little Wilson. Who you called earlier, he's in the best players, definitely. He's been dominant, hasn't he, in that midfield, and he just keeps giving. And you can see by his jumper and his shorts and his face, he's been in amongst that mud a bit. Yeah, he loves getting in and amongst it. I think, as you said last week, it was an absolute mud bowl at DXC Arena in Pint, just given the heavy rain that they had over that sort of 24-hour period. And yeah, Wilson loves getting in and amongst it. Socks down. Often finding bottom of a pack. Yeah. Deserves a goal for his efforts today. Kicks it well. And he gets that one there. Well done to Cam Wilson. Yeah, look, and he's been fantastic this year, and it will feature in their best and fairest, I'm sure, when they have their night. Margin still skipping out to a very, very healthy lead for Pint. 8 goals and 9 points there leading by, which I think is 57 points when you add it all up together. They're looking at somewhere around that 100-point win the way they're going. I don't know what Wanderers can do. It's just a matter of each contest try and win it. Try and play man-on-man football a bit, try a couple of things, get a couple of players up forward, and every time the ball comes to you, make sure you're doing your bit.
And they're
Easy to say from here.
Completely outplayed at the moment, Wanderers as well. Shouldn't be this much of a disparity between the two sides.
No, pretty even on paper, I would have thought, and had an even sort of season, so they should have been a lot closer than this.
Fuller gets it out to Leggett. Leggett has a runner out wide, which he'll eventually go to, though he'll just collect his own ball after a wayward handball, then turns back through traffic. He's almost done a S shape there. Smiler has it at half forward, handballs it back, overshoots it, and it'll be a free kick going the way of Wanderers. Very, very high half forward in the hands of Fuller. In fact, it's going to go to Smiler again.
Yeah, Smiler, I think he's got lots of opportunity here, but he'd be looking for a short option probably.
He's slowly come into the game the more it's gone on, Smiler, but they've needed more out of him today, and as you said, that kick, not a good one. Now he's got another opportunity to make amends. Good tackle on Fulton. Fulton got handball away. I think Manzi's then working off half back for Pint. They're trying to push it forward. Smiler again getting involved.
Showing
and again.
Showing the colours did well.
No, that was Keelan Fijo, I think it might have been. Now Thompson waiting for a handball to come out to him. Wanderers finally break through. No, whistle blown.
I think it's going to go against them. Oh, no, it's going to go for them. So that's Smiler, is it? Or?
That's Regan Bowie. He pushes it out wide.
It's a good kick.
Now Thane Blake. Oh, his kick turned over to Big.
The story of the day, isn't it? Ball turned over.
And just Pint seems to be just more so kicking it to actually help their teammates. Wanderers just going long and hoping for the best.
Almost 50-metre penalty. Oh, mark not paid.
Well, McCarthy, I think he's definitely going for the play on. They've been quick to react. I think that was... Yeah, so he's been paid for holding the ball there, I think. Push it out wide, find Matthew Motlop.
So Matty Motlop hasn't been in it much today either, so he's another one that they can look for lift going into this last quarter and a half.
And Waylon Walters just lost the ball for a second there, but puts on a tackle to chase it up. We'll have a ball up just in front of the camera here on the wing at Tracy Village. 57-point margin in favour of Pint.
57 margin and pretty much controlling the game, Pint.
And looking at the scoring shots as well, Dodgy, just 5 scoring shots to 22. If that doesn't spell the game for you, I don't know what will.
And that shouldn't happen in any game of footy, but particularly when two sides are 5th and 6th on the ladder, it should be a lot closer than that.
So ball will come up.
Big throw-in, not a shallow one. It's good.
Fulton, oh, he comes through. He falls over a bit too hard at the ball. Manzi then gets it back through to Thompson. He slips over. Wanderers have the numbers. Here comes Thompson. He breaks away, sells a little bit of candy. Not well enough and caught, and the ball spills out. Great work there from Ethan Smith on half-back.
It was great work, but he once again had nowhere to go. He had nowhere to go, and he was just trying to look for an option and couldn't find one.
Now, Pint working it down that far side again in the hands of Spring. And then they just edge it closer to goal, looking for a lead out of full forward. Schmetzer, oh, Taylor's just done a bit better at ground level, a bit more agile, gets the handball away, but no one to give it to. Again, that's probably been the story of his season. Finally, he has another crack at it, just overruns it. Fulton comes in with a big body, gives away a free kick.
Yeah, you can't do that. Front on tackle.
He'll look to switch it, Taylor. Comes across now. Oh, shanks that one and out of bounds on the full. Not what the Wanderers needed at all.
Definitely not. And you're watching AFL NT's coverage of the 2024-25 TIO NTFL season from Tracy Village here in Darwin.
Fulton pushed it to Schmetzer. Schmetzer needed to attack the ball a little bit more there. Taylor's come in with the big body and just put enough on it. Ball spills out and goes over the back for a boundary throw-in.
Mitch Taylor still giving his all, and it looks like he's going to get a free kick here.
And I think Schmetzer just took his eyes off the ball for a bit too long there. As I said, needs to be more aggressive on the ball, not on the player. True, and a long, long way from home. They're throwing him into the back line in the second half of this third quarter, looking for Leggett. Good hands.
Good mark, Leggett.
Gives it off to a runner, to Smith.
Been a bit quiet, Smith, since halfway through the second quarter.
Bit of a torpedo looking down the line. Oh, there's a man out the back in Caleb Nicky. Overran the ball. Now he has to work. They could have been on there for a rare opportunity.
Ball still in dispute. It's going to be a ball up. So Wanderers got a real chance to hit the scoreboard here, right in their forward line, and to see what they can do. They've certainly struggled in this forward half, but there's got plenty of forwards there, plenty of blue jumpers.
Ball goes up. Nicky just belts it forward. Clears the pack.
Come back in again for repeat entry. First time for a while they've done that, Wanderers.
Under pressure. Again, they just can't really get a clean kick away here, which is half the trouble. Thompson trying to work it. Will it into his teammates' hands.
Pint done really well there. The Greenheads have just got jumpers everywhere around the ball, and the weight of numbers has won out for the game.
And himself a free kick. Reese pushes it out wide.
Terrible handball. Put his pressure on the player under so much pressure.
Handball over the top. Oh, big hit on Spring there. But
Spring gets the ball away.
They do. And now out onto that far side. Good fist over the top. Jones lurking front and centre. Not bad for a big fella. He kicks towards goal. And Ben Brett just
walks in,
muscles himself into a good position. That's number 5 for him today.
He's had a great game, hasn't he, Ben Brett? And he's just 5 goals is a great result in any game of footy, and he's been dominant, but he's also been lively around that forward line.
And they're 5th for the quarter too, so they're just piling them on at the moment.
Yes, it's looking like it's going to be a cricket score the way things are going. 13-10-88 to 4 goals, 1-25. So 23 scoring shots to 5, and that's pretty much, you can sum the game up just in that little stat alone. Some of those Wanderers players looking very tired and very disinterested. Hopefully they can lift their heads and put in the last quarter and a half here.
Yeah, I think looking at Pint, it's probably a little bit of talent which has kept them out of the finals this season. Fitness-wise, they seem really good. They've managed to run out games pretty well. I think skill-wise and discipline-wise as well. Obviously, they had a pretty bad weekend last weekend, but otherwise they seem disciplined in terms of the way that they play the game and the way that their training standards are, and their club standards are. But I think Wanderers, it seems fitness is what's really keeping them out of the game today. And they had a good patch in the middle of the season. People thought, they could be challenging Waratah for that 5th spot on the ladder, and then they completely dropped off.
I certainly did. I thought that Wanderers had turned the corner. They were playing good footy. They looked fit. They certainly don't look so today. I don't know what's gone wrong down there. They'll have a big discussion about that in a forensic examination of their season, and try and build on those early games and look at what they were doing there that they're not doing today.
Even now, ball's inside their forward line. They just can't really get a clean disposal away. Pint, meanwhile, managed to find a loose and break away. Wilson's earned himself a free kick in the back line, I think. It might be brought forward.
And credit to Pint, I mean, they're playing in a game which means nothing to them except for, bragging rights going into to the next season. But they've just done everything right today. They've dominated around the packs, and they've kicked good goals, and just really won. Come out and play this game as if it was a game that means a lot. And
with the way the ladder is at the moment, neither can get above 6th place, as we know. But going into this game, Pint's percentage was 25. Almost 25 more than Wanderers was anyway, and this margin is just going to absolutely flatter that statistic too. Drops a sitter. And the ball's moving very quickly forward for Pint. They're just getting that ball run going through that middle, running through the lines very well. McCarthy gets through a couple, then gives it off to a runner. Move it and further 20 metres down the line looking for Jones. He's been good today, Jones, as well. Not his best game. Has probably not been the main target going forward, which hasn't helped him, but he's toiled away as Leggett gets out of the defensive 50 now. Just kicks it into space. I think that was Charles who tried to get onto it, just bounced on it, and it's bounced off over the boundary line. So 1 goal this quarter to the Wanderers, no behinds, and for Pint, 5 goals straight as well. So no blemishes on the scoreboard this quarter, Dodgy.
No, none at all. And what are you feeling about the final series coming up? Well, you've watched footy for a long time up here. How do you feel things are going?
I think this season, more than any other season I've seen, obviously Southern District's that top place side. We don't know where the other 4 teams are going to sit at this stage, but I think anyone realistically could win it from anywhere. I think it's one of those final series where it might be Southern Districts against anyone else, and it could be anyone anyone else, and it's just a matter of who wins on that final day in September. But should be a really good season. As it's gone on as well, I think the talent from down south that's come up has been a bit more, I guess, better filtered and moderated, which means you're getting the right people up here who are here to help build clubs as well, which is what you've seen with the rise of the Tiwi Bombers. And of course, when they're playing well, the competition up here is much better as well. They're just an excitement machine, that football club, and to see them hopefully playing at least 2 finals, but at least one as the ladder stands at the moment, will be good for footy.
Oh, it's exciting to see the Bombers go so well. You've got the same old sides in there, the districts at Nightcliff, Waratah, St Mary's, but they're the ones that can give you a bit of cheek, I think, and we spoke about that before, and got some pretty good AFL talent there. And that's sort of been offset with the natural talent that you have in those Tiwi Bombers.
Absolutely. As Wilson, he tries to break through, there'll be a free kick paid to the Wanderers. And looking at the recruiting of Tiwi Bombers and Southern Districts, who we know are number one, I think that they're probably the 2 clubs for me, Dodgy, who, their fly-in recruits have been, those former AFL players, which has really probably helped what those 2 sides stand out the way they have this season. As PINT Manzi, tries to work it back inboard, and there'll be a whistle blown. Another free kick going to the Green Ants,
But keep watching through Community TV. The final series coming up, the TIO season is looking like it's going to be fantastic, and the final series is going to be great. And as you quite rightly said, any side could win it from anywhere here. And even though the districts have done everything right, they're not that far ahead of everybody else. And I think a smoky might be either Nightcliff or Tiwi in there to sort of give them a bit of a run at it.
Reeves has a shot on goal, just pushes across the line, and we've got a big 24 hours in footy, Dodgy. I think the 2 main things standing out to me, obviously that decision with the Nightcliff Footy Club and their alleged fly-in breach. We'll find out the result of that tomorrow, but also this afternoon's game between St Mary's and Southern Districts. The history behind St Mary's and how well they play in final series as well means a lot rides on that game this afternoon. If they can overcome Southern Districts and finish top 2, then you'd think they have to go into its second seed. If they lose, they could drop down to an elimination final.
I agree, and my mail says that Anthony Fledger is pretty excited about this game. He thinks they've got the side to win it. So that'll be interesting out there at Fred's Pass, because it's a bit of a cauldron out there, and as we mentioned, it's quite hot, but today's a better day for it, and it's not going to be hot and sticky out there.
And Southern Districts, as we know, just the one loss this season, that was against St Mary's, and not sure how they went at home last year. Can't quite remember the statistics, but it would have been a long time since they've lost out there at Fred's Pass.
I don't think they have for a couple of seasons. I think they've been that's been their fortress out there. But as no Shopper is excited about this game. He's got a good side in, and they'll give it to him today. It'll be taken up. Be a game to watch.
Ball moving forward now. Jones can't take a mark.
You'll be able to watch that live on Community TV, streamed from 4 o'clock, I think it is.
4 o'clock out there at Fred's Pass.
Exciting game, and stay tuned for that, because that's part of the TIO NTFL AFL season here, which is a fantastic game and shapes the way the finals will finish off, no matter what happens with that decision tomorrow with the Nightcliff Footy Club.
And fantastic. You can't pick those sorts of games when you write the script, when you write the fixture. Back in September and October, who's going to finish where, but they've got 2 of the best sides facing off to we've already discussed, the finals shaping clash at Fred's Pass this afternoon at Tracy Village. Meanwhile, it's 3/4 time, I think, and it's what have we got? We've got a 64-point margin in favour of PINT Green Ants, 13-11-89 to the Wanderers, 4-1-25. We'll bring you back the final quarter of these 2 sides' season after this 3/4 time break.
We're for being in it together. Like Danny's team. She'll be captain next year.
For real?
For real! Or like this couple, celebrating their anniversary.
29 years today.
30?
Whoops, awkward. Well, congrats either way. And Sarah. She loves walking at East Point every Saturday with her besties.
Keep up.
I'm trying, Sarah. TIO, we're for Territorians.
Kazali's Palmerston Club. Come and check out our cafe, open 7 days a week. Our kids club is open Wednesday to Sunday nights, including weekend lunchtime. Enjoy hot meals with nightly specials at the bistro, or cold drinks at the sports bar. Feeling lucky? Have a go at the latest machines in our gaming lounge, or grab your mates for a round of pool. Family gatherings or casual meetings, we have something for everyone. Kazali's Palmerston Club, making a difference.
bring it up, up. Bring it back, bring it back, bring it back, bring it back, up, up. Bring it back, bring it back, bring it back.
PINT, and we're well underway into the fourth quarter.
Early shot on goal going to Charles. And there's a mark on the goal line. No, it's over. So, again, Wanderers, I think this is the third quarter Mark Dodge, that they've kicked the first goal of the quarter and they haven't really done much else aside from that.
So when it's 6-6 and 6 and they're all sitting in their positions, and it just goes to show that it's the structure that's costing Wanderers, I think, a little bit. When it's structured properly, they kick a couple of goals, and they've done that each quarter so far. So that's their fifth goal. Scoreboard showing 4, but I think it's their fifth goal going in. It's what they need to be doing to go forward into this next season.
Yeah, the scoreline should read now 5 goals, 2 26, 2 13, 11 89.
Yep. So we're going back into the middle again, and they're going to reset again. The Warriors are going to go out there and try and fight it out once more.
Handball comes over the top looking for Peters, but intercepted was Antoine O'Connell. Inside 50 again. Maybe the Wanderers are here for a little bit of fight and a little bit of cheer in the last quarter. Kicked out by Big. Running onto it, I think that's Charles again. He's becoming a bit more lively as the game goes on. That kick out of bounds on the full. You PINT from their backline. And both these sides, Mark Dodge, heading in for their last 20 minutes of game time this season, 24-25.
And having been in a position myself, obviously you have as well. It's difficult, but you've got to just keep doing what you do and enjoy the game. And the reason we play footy is for fun. So have some fun out there. Just to perhaps throw away the rule book, not the rule book, the playbook a bit. Not the rule book, definitely, but the playbook a bit, and just try and run a bit and make sure you pick up your player and just make sure that you're doing what you can do to try and lift your side a bit.
Wilson, he kicks the ball inboard to McCarthy.
You don't want to get injury like that from Wilson.
Looks pretty rough on him as moving forward is Lodwick. And then
tackled him
deep across that forward line. Gee, there's two Wanderers players jumping on him in Smiler and Blake.
Both fellas pretty small stature compared, so they were never going to hold him, were they?
No, and Thompson's done well there just to hold it and neutralise the contest. Ball goes up, taken straight out there. No, McCarthy's double tapped it down to Wilson, who's just thrown boot onto ball, going forward into space.
Taps it forward.
Yeah, umpire scored that as a throw. I think he's almost tapped it out of his hands, Thane Blake. It'll be in the hands of Manzi.
If you do a double hand tap, it's a throw.
Turns it straight down the throat of Taylor.
So Mitch Taylor definitely been the best on Wanderers' side, I think, and he's kicked the balls of Wilson, who's another excellent player from today. But it's just those two and really no one else that has maybe Truan. Has stood out.
Cody Leggett as well has done a little bit around the ground. I would have liked to have seen them try him in a different position. I think he could have flourished maybe as a target up forward, but just hasn't really probably been given enough opportunity today as he has in other matches.
And we don't know why the coaching staff don't do things like that, but there must be a reason. They must have some thought behind it. They're trying to stick to their processes.
Fulton runs in almost to an open goal and gets it through for PINT's first of the last quarter.
And it's almost a repeat of what's been happening all day. Wanderers look good for 2, 3, 5 minutes, and then PINT kick away and get an easy goal.
14-11-95. PINT leading Wanderers 5-1-31. A 64-point margin at Tracy Village. 4 minutes into the last quarter, and just having a quick look around the grounds, Mark Dodge. There's a game out that's finished at Gardens Oval. Waratah Women's Premier League side has defeated the Darwin Buffets 45-12. So probably a bit of an unexpected result in that competition. Darwin Buffets' season finished last week. They were right up in contention. They'd be bitterly disappointed with how their season has ended.
Rob Cross, the coach of the Waratah Women, I was talking to him during the week, and he was reasonably confident going into that game. So obviously it's paid off. Good on you, Rob.
It was a tough start for him this season as well, but he'd be very happy with the way it's panned out, with some upset wins late against Tiwi Bombers and Darwin Buffets highlighting their season. Almost
beat the Tigers as well. So just he's a quality fellow, a quality coach, and he's doing well with that side there, and he's building it forward.
McCarthy, he'll get a free kick in the middle of the ground out here at Tracy Village. Over the top he goes to Reeves. Reeves has been really good today as well. Probably one of his better games for the season, though, that kick into the hands of Taylor again, who's just cutting everything off.
Taylor's doing well, but he's a bit of an unsung player. He pops up and then all of a sudden he's got 25, 30 possessions. You don't realise he's been in that play, and at this sort of conditions suit him definitely.
Imagine he'd be up for an award tonight at the Club Best and Fairest for the Wanderers Football Club.
Yep.
among with a few others, but he's been probably their most consistent player, not only today, but across their whole season. And I think this might be his 3rd or 4th season as captain as well.
Yeah, just a fabulous player and a good player. And the Mucks, they're the sort of players that build that side going on.
Ball coming in now. Pretty central position. Smith gets it. He's probably been, as you said, one of their better players today. I think he'd be absolutely dominating that clearance count. Fuller just gets, I think he's gotten Wilson a little bit high there. Umpire's just saying, get on with it, take the free kick, Miller, and we can all move on.
It's not like a little player to fire up, is it?
Not at all. Not at all, Dodgy.
Being 5'6.5" myself, not quite.
Pushes it inside 50. And then good pressure, but I think he's just got an arm over the top, so it'll be a free kick going into... This is Jones Cabillo.
Jones, he's just got nowhere to go. He's got to wait for Mitch Taylor to come running off that back climb. Taylor did well and found a player, so that was much better. But they just need to get some movement and try and do a couple of things to keep the game moving along.
Thane Blake pushes it out wide with Leggett again.
Leggett's been great. I agree with you. If they played him up forward, it might have been a different result. But there'd be a reason, I guess, why they're not doing it. But you just wonder why at this end of the season why he wouldn't try a few things like that.
He goes down the line. Oh, good.
Great mark.
Great mark there. Had a couple of bites of the cherry. McCarthy's been really good for them all season, but also today. He's slowly come into the game too, Alex McCarthy. And Josh McCarthy's been pinch hitting the ruck a little bit today and throughout the season as well. A little bit undermanned in the ruck today, though. Doesn't really seem to be affecting them against the Wanderers side, which is relatively short itself.
And that's a problem that Wanderers have got. They just need some height and some key position players. They need a ruckman. I suppose that's not much different to most sides. They need a ruckman, they need a centre-half back and a forward that can take some big grabs and a big hollocking forward.
And just briefly looking around the grounds again, Dodgy, and Women's Premier League footy out at Fred's Park. St Mary's have a 48-point lead over Southern Districts, 60-12 in the Women's Premier League game out there. So
Probably,
no surprises out there.
I was going to say probably going as expected there.
Ball in dispute, and we'll go over the wing for a boundary thrown out at Tracy Village.
And we think that the match of the round for Women's Premier League this afternoon may well be the Tigers up against Palmerston at Darwin Mazda Microsoft Oval. So that's something starting at 4 o'clock also.
Yeah, both sides playing in finals. They might meet in week 2 is what I was meant to say. They'll finish 3rd and 4th on the ladder, but both sides will be really hungry to get some winning form. And keep some winning form going into that first week of finals, both of them with some big clashes in the first week. I think the way it is, Nightcliff will play St Mary's regardless of results this weekend, and Palmerston will play the Tiwi Bombers, who, as we know, can pull out a win from anywhere.
And there's some exciting players in that Nightcliff side that I've seen a few times. Sophie Harsmartis has been terrific all year, Gabrielle, and they've also got their Best and Fairest count tomorrow night, so a few of those players will be certainly featuring in those final few votes, so I hear.
Yeah, Sally Evans on the wing as well. It's always good to watch, and another one who I've loved watching, I think probably over the last 4 or 5 weeks or so, is Davies, who's come off from the GWS Giants. Comes from a really good sporting family. I think there's 4 girls, and I think the word on the street is the best of them is yet to come. She's only 16 or 17, Georgia Davies, but I think it's Fleur playing at Nightcliff this season, and she's been really good for them.
She has, and McCallan Rabbit as well, a young player from down the bush, and she just gives every week, and she's won a couple of games from off her own boot, so fabulous. So women's football certainly has come along in leaps and bounds in the last few years, and all those WPL sides are coached well, and they've got some professionalism amongst them.
Here comes Reeves in the middle of the ground as PINT looking to move it forward again. Few players would be hoping to get another goal on the tally before the end of the season, but it won't come from this play, you would think, as Wanderers just try and get it out of that offensive 50. Not a good kick though, as you said, Dodgy. Works back, here's Miller. He pushes himself a little bit wider, then unleashes into the forward line. Tap down from Shobin, and Mitch Taylor almost takes it over the line. He does.
He does, and he does it cleverly, and he's running forward again, looking for an option, and once again his disposal is fantastic.
Here comes Waylon Walters, pushes it forward to Lewis.
Haven't seen much of him today.
He's looking down the line. Truant, he'll break away.
Well played, Drew.
2 goals today already, and he finds
Beautiful.
Fuller in the goal square. Fuller breaks the line and gets through his first of the afternoon. Takes their total out to 6 goals, 37, trailing PINT 14-12-96.
And dare I say again, and giving Mitch Taylor a big rap, but I think he set that up from the back line. Just a good disposal from him all the way through. It was basically untouched. It was coast-to-coast footy to Wanderers, and that'll show them that they can do this against any side. Yes, it's the last quarter, and there's not much to play for, but gee, that was a big patch of footy that they can put into highlight reels for tonight, or their next for their presentation night to show up on the screen.
Yeah, absolutely. They'll probably just want to blur out the scoreboard for that one. But yeah, great passage of play. And as you're right, it shows they can do it. They probably just need to come back from their off-season in a little bit better condition and work on their fitness. I think it'd be the main 2 points you'd say to them going into season 25-26.
And speaking to the great coach himself, Damien Hale, who's been around footy for a long time, it's that stuff you do in pre-season that counts this time of the year. As you're going into finals, the fitness is really where it tells out with all sides.
And just looking around the competition, as we have been dodgy, is there a team that stands out to you in the men's Premier League competition that maybe not necessarily the best, they might only be third or fourth on the ladder, but who's the fittest side going around that you can see?
Oh, Tiwi definitely. The fitness has always been an issue at Tiwi. To be honest, they've been a side that starts off well and fades. They've certainly run it out. Of course, for mine, they're probably the fittest side around. And I think also, obviously, districts, they're strong and fit, and they've got some great talent in there, haven't they?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Tiwi Bombers, they've had some really good, management and positional moves that they've made, which have put them in good stead, and just created some good structures and discipline around the club. I think the recruiting of Hams and McLean in the off-season have been good. Paddy Bowden as a coach is doing a fantastic job, and mentioned some of their fly-ins before, players like Marlon Pickett, who has played that high-level AFL football. He knows what it takes to be the best. Has been really good for the club.
And Matty Parker, give him a rap too. He's been fantastic for him, and he's really got. I remember when he was playing at Richmond, he's the sort of guy who keeps his heart in his sleeve, and he's a guy that gives everything to the club, and he's been wonderful for him. When the times have been tough, he's been the guy that sort of got him back in games. It's a shame that Marlon Pickett's going to be out for a few weeks with a disciplinary issue, so it's probably going to cost him the run into the finals. Depends on how deep they go. I think he's got 2 weeks.
1 week left. So he served 1 week last week, and then I think he got downgraded to just 2 weeks total, which means he'll miss the first week of finals regardless. As Bates comes in, does he kick a goal? No, just through for a point. But the question I had, and I can probably find this out, Dodge a bit, has Matt Parker, has he qualified for finals for Tiwi, or has he only played a couple of games for them?
I think he's played 4. I'm almost certain he's played 4. He if not, he's going to be very close, and that'll be today. Might be his 4th, maybe. I think Marlon Pickett, he came straight off the Richmond list and played at Tiwi, so there was no break in between. A lot of players come up here after having a couple of years off and playing waffle or whatever, but he just came straight up, and that showed out, especially in those early games.
Boo Parford, I think, was one who he had a few weeks rest, but he's come up sort of halfway through the season, obviously with Nightcliff, and played well. But Pickett, he came straight up and straight in the
list. And when I saw him recruited to Tiwi, I thought, he's going to be one of those players that they just every now and again is going to come up. But no, he's been a solid player, and you talk to the guy, he's a good solid citizen. He's a footballer. And he's a terrific guy to talk to about footy. He knows footy backwards.
And he contested the first ruck hit out of the season for the club as well. So he played that role in South Fremantle, but good to see him, just doing what the club needs him to do on and off field up here as well.
Have another shot on goal.
Another spray. Mitch Taylor with a kick out. Parker played 5 games, so he has qualified for them.
Qualified, yeah. And the thing with Marlon Pickett, we saw him, I think you and I called that game against St Mary's, and moving him to the back line to play on Kohler was the winning move because it made him accountable.
Yeah, absolutely. He's not typically your key position player, but he's shown that he's willing to do what he needs to do, and if that means he's playing key position on who's going to be the eventual leading goal kicker and the 3rd in a row for Jackson Calder, he'll do it.
Yep. And for mine, he's Tiwi are the side that are going to give some cheek, and hard to see how they're going to go, but I would say they're the ones that a good chance to go deep into finals for sure.
Ben Brett, he's kicked 5 goals today, yet to kick one in this final term. He centres the ball, gets it off to Fulton, who's kicked 1 in this quarter.
and it's currently 14-14 to 6-1, so it's a massive scoreline for Pint. They're still putting the ball up there and still putting their bodies on the line, so it's good to see that from a side that is going to finish it today and have a break now, probably off to Bali next week.
Jones nearly took that mark there, but just copped some body contact and the ball popped out late. But yeah, dodgy. That makes it, I think, 4 times the amount of scoring shots Pint have had of Wanderers today. So Wanderers almost lucky that Pint haven't been more accurate, and they've been very accurate with just 6 goals, 1 to their name.
They're going to have another shot on goal. Another clearance kick out of there now, and it's typical of the day. They've just put the boot on the ball and move it out. That's probably not a bad move when you set that deep into finals, but it's to the forward line. But it really has been a tale of the way they've played the game today, with the exception of maybe Mitch Taylor and Lewin.
So ball will come in on the wing. 15 minutes gone in this final term here at Tracy Village. The final game for both these sides of season 24-25 is watching AFL and T's coverage of the 2024 NTFL TIO season.
It's really good to see football played out here at Tracy Village. It's not the ground that used to be the first choice, but it's a good ground to watch footy on. As I've said, you can see the game from all ends of the ground, and this Wanderers' home ground now, so they've got somewhere to sort of call their own ground.
Yeah, and it's just, I love seeing footy played at these suburban grounds. You got Nightcliff, you got Gardens Oval as well, even Palmerston, and it's a decent trek, but Fred's Pass as well.
Yeah, but also it's beautiful to play football at TIO Stadium, and we all love playing there for finals, but it is good to see suburban football, and you get the old suburban supporters too that have been around footy for a long time, that just like to maybe have a glass of wine or a bottle of beer, and a can of beer I should say, and just watch a game of footy on their home ground.
In comes Ryan. He's been pretty quiet today with Brad Ryan, but in saying that, the ball hasn't been down his end of the ground in his vicinity a lot, as Shot gets the ball over the top to Wilson. He breaks the lines again. Good kick inside 50.
Great kick.
Finds Schmetzer. Been pretty quiet in that third quarter after 4 goals in the first half.
He's done his job, but two or three of those goals have come from free kicks. So he's
at least 3 of them free kicks, and I think 2 of them 50 metres out on top as well.
Yeah.
And then another one from a decent angle.
But early doors, he was the difference between the two sides, and he's a good forward, and once again one of those fellas that can you can keep building his side around.
Yeah, you'd think they'd try and keep him around the club coming into next year. Just 23 years of age, or turning 23 in a month's time or so. Schmetzer comes in.
Good kick this time.
Good kick. I think it's just caught a little bit of wind there, but that was a really good looking kick off the boot.
If you're another side looking around for a key forward, that's the sort of play you want to have a look at. 23-year-old, good skills on both sides, plenty of room to develop. But Pint will be real keen to keep hold of him in their season. Once again, Mitch Taylor's going to have the kick-in duties. He's begging his players to keep moving. He's looking for an opportunity to kick the ball down.
It is a different game up here in the top end, just given the tropical climate we've got, and you don't often rely on key position players as much. But I think looking at the 3 clubs below Pint on the ladder, all 3 of them could do with an extra key forward, as we've said, dodgy. So yeah, they could be in high demand, the Green Ants, in the off season. You
definitely need a couple of decent big forwards to keep the ball locked in, because your small players are the ones that win games. Obviously, they do from the midfield, but they're the games, and the Jackson Calder we talked about before at Pint, he's been a Trojan at Saints, and it's probably been the difference between them making and not making finals for many years.
Free kick will go the way of Pint. Looks like there was a slightly unsavoury knock-off ball. I don't think it was anything malicious at all, but a hit nonetheless.
He's winded, that's for sure. He's got some pain in his stomach, perhaps lower abdomen as well. So that's pretty sore.
Looks like it's going to Jacob Maloney.
And I don't know how much time you spend in ice baths, but that's not a good position to be in after you've had a game of footy. You don't want to be sitting in an ice bath for another hour.
So Maloney, he'll go back. He's been a pretty good contributor for them as well, Maloney.
You could just about say most players in that Pint lineup today have done their job. If not starred, they've been very, very solid, and he's one of those.
So this to take their total score to triple figures, one way or the other. 14-15-99, they're currently sitting on Jacob Maloney. Builds into his run-up now, kicks towards goal. Umpire had to move, but not too much, and he's gone through for a major.
And as the great Dermot Burton, legend of the game and great footy callers, always said, you get 100 points, you generally win a game. They were going to win anyway, but it's the first side to 100 usually wins, and they certainly got that there with sitting on the century 105, in fact.
And good to see them break through for that 100-point margin as well. Show up for this final game of the season too.
Yeah, definitely put the sixth spot out of contention for Wanderers and lock themselves in there. And I don't know what we've learned much about PINT today, but we do know that they've actually played some good footy overall. They've run through the lines. They've got some big solid forwards. Haven't had a great amount of opposition in patches. They've had opposition, but it's been pretty much a training run for them overall.
Yeah, I think, look, they'll finish in sixth spot. I don't know how many. They've had two really tight games that I can think of against Tiwi Bombers and one in blistering heat against Southern Districts. But apart from that, I don't think they've challenged the top five that much throughout the season. So decent bit of distance between them and fifth spot. But, you know, if they can try and build on this for next year, obviously Mark Wiley's first-year coach as well, so that can take some time when you've got a new coach coming in just to make sure you've got the right people and the right positions and, you know, then also playing the right locals and the right share of locals too.
Yep.
But, you know, they'll work on the off-season and try and make sure they come back stronger than this. Looks like the sun's just poking through the clouds again, which is not what anyone on the field, I think, wants in the last 2 minutes.
I think the other thing with that, they're certainly the best side outside of the top five. And that's not such a big step to go into the top five from there. So you've got a chance to really launch into that new season. Just have to make sure that you've got some recruiting going. There's so much weight on the committees and the recruiting teams at NTFL clubs, I guess in every league, but particularly here, when you've got to pick up some downside southern players as well as the local talent.
True, and he rolls onto his right, kicks it inside, looking for Charles, goes over his hands. Maloney, he looks all better now, running back to try and collect the ball, but it spills over the boundary line. 21 and a half gone in this final term.
Stay watching for the big clash coming up down at Fred's Pass. It's going to be a beauty down there between St Mary's and
Southern Districts,
of course. Another 50-metre penalty paid against Wanderers here. That's been the tail of tape for them. They've been a bit undisciplined when it's come to free kicks around the ground.
Quick score update from Gardens Oval. 1 goal to Waratah, 1 goal straight to the Darwin Buffaloes. First goal, that one goes to Tyson Crone before Shay Cladforth responded. That one in early days at Gardens Oval as well. So another good game down there.
Yeah, Waratah are sort of fighting hard to depending on the results, but to see where they finish on the ladder. But they'll certainly be another side that can give a bit of cheek going into finals. And
their last club day of the year, so it'll be a massive day down there at Gardens Oval as well. And for the Buffs, it's their last game of the season too. So you wouldn't think there's going to be a huge contest there, but you never know when they're going to pull a rabbit out of the hat and pull one through for their fans. It's been a tough season for them. They've managed to avoid the wooden spoon, the Buffaloes, but yeah, they'd be pretty disappointed with how the season's gone for them too.
I think they'll be pleased not to get the wooden spoon. That's always
absolutely
a spiritual thing. But speaking of Rowan Langworthy, I think they played 5 games at Gardens. One of those was Wanderers' home game. So it's been a tough run for their committee down there to run that ground, but well done to them for putting it up and making sure it happens. And they'll be excited. They lost the Battle of the Beaches to Nightcliff, but apart from that, they've been pretty competitive, I think, most of the games they played.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they had a good win against St Mary's throughout the season as well, which is probably one of their highlights to this point. But that's the final siren at Tracy Village. In the end, it was a 9-goal and 14-point deficit, 68 points, the total margin, 105 to 37 points taking the points. And it means they've wrapped up 6th spot on the ladder. Wanderers will finish on 7th. And that's it for the season, curtains for the season for both of these sides. Dodgy, who did you see as today's best players?
Oh, look, for Wanderers, I thought Mitch Taylor was by far the best on the ground, and Leggett perhaps as well. But Ben Brett, obviously, with his goals, Cam Wilson, McCarthy and Charles, all very, very good for PINT. But you could probably throw half a dozen other players in there as well, because it's been such an easy run for them in this particular game.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's been a pretty good team effort for them. Obviously, Ben Brett with 5 goals was probably one of the highlights there. Love the game of Wilson as well, and he'll get the award centre screen now for the muddiest jumper today. You'd think the unofficial award that they probably won't even give out. But yeah, look, unfortunately for Wanderers, not the way they wanted to end their season for PINT. A good way for them to end theirs. But that'll be it from Tracy Village for this afternoon. Plenty of good games across the territory this afternoon, and especially in the month ahead. Make sure you're watching Community TV and the AFLNT's coverage of the 2024-25 TIO NTFL season for weeks to come. I'm Will Swart, Mark Dodge with me today. Pleasure to bring you the footy.
We'll see you next time.